welcome to Behind the Ballet. I'm Elizabeth Kaye, and today I'm fortunate to be bringing you a very special guest, a truly great dancer and beautiful artist, Daniel Camargo. Whether he's portraying the majestic Oberon in The Dream, or the agonized Leontes in The Winter's Tale, or the flirtatious then repentant Albrecht in Giselle, Daniel's extraordinary performances are so technically thrilling, and he takes you so far into the soul of his characters that he absolutely transports you, which of course is what great dancers can do. So, welcome Daniel, and thank you for being here. Thank you for being
Thanks
here.
for having me.
Yeah, so we can start at the beginning and how you got into ballet. And you were 10, I think, between 9 and 10 when you started?
Yes. It was through my sisters that I really started, and it was in a challenging time for our family, where my mom was taking care of the 3 kids, me and my 2 sisters, by herself. Very challenging beginning. And my older sister saw in the newspaper there was audition for the ballet school. So she never heard about it or knew what it was, and went to check it, what was dance about, and right away got really hooked on it. My second sister started, I think, after a couple of weeks. The school was really happy to have 2 sisters, the same family. They were very talented. And after going to see one of the performances, the teacher was like, "You guys have a brother, take with him." And that's how it started.
And what did you like about it at the beginning?
I was a kid who I would not stand still. I would just be running up and down the whole time, always playing outside. So I had a lot of energy. So on that aspect was also good to put all that energy into one thing. Point on it was when it was told to me that this could be your future. You have something in here that it could really be something. And from that moment that me and my family were living, to me became very clear that I was not gonna have as much chances to try other things, and so it became tunnel vision. It's like, this is what I'm gonna do.
And then by the time you're 12, you enter the Youth America
Grand Prix. Yes.
And tell me about what you danced and how that came out.
So it was, we started to dance in Ourinhos, it's a city close to São Paulo, and we went to Curitiba, where my sister went to the company and I went to the school. And the teachers over there saw a group of young kids who were very talented, and they decided that, okay, we should take you guys to an international competition. Honestly, we're just happy to be there, and I had no idea of what to expect, or we're just happy to be in New York, first time traveling internationally, seeing dancers from all around. And then I got second prize, which was then I was not expecting, and the chance, the scholarship.
To American Ballet Theater.
To American Ballet Theater, which was
the summer program.
Exactly, which was the dream. Also because my teacher in Brazil was always showing us tape. A lot of it was from ABT. It was Carreño, Ethan, Corella, obviously Malakov, Misha. So it was already, there was other ones, but also was very ABT oriented from a young age. So then the possibility came to do the summer school, but literally on the one day before I was supposed to do the flight, everything turned out that I could not go. The people who I was going to stay with had other things coming up that I was not able to pursue.
How upset were you?
It was tough.
Yeah,
yes.
I'll bet.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
bet.
But now looking back, it was exactly, I think it was exactly how it should be, because then 18 years later,
you come back.
When I came back, it was, it felt exactly at the right time, the right place.
When you came back to the competition the next year,
yes,
also won second prize,
yes,
and then got invited to go to Stuttgart.
Exactly.
Yeah. And when you were in Stuttgart, you had a very wonderful teacher, Peter Peskov, who's really known for, I mean, teaching elegance, musicality, and discipline.
Yes.
But he's very tough, right?
Yes.
So what was the training like?
It was, I could say, It's probably like a military training.
Really?
It was
That
very,
tough?
very tough. We're
Yeah.
not, you could not drink water in class.
And the classes were 3 hours.
Sometimes would be 3 hours. It wasn't always, but there was 3 hours class. It was very, very tough. But then afterwards, it was literally you could do. It was very easy to do other things afterwards. Not that everything came easily. We had to work a lot to. But it was a very tough training that you could see the result.
And were you watching performances of the company at that point?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
how was that enthralling to you? Was it exciting to see them?
It was, and also very interesting because they were doing some cranko ballets and different. The repertoire was so different that I wouldn't understand yet the ballets that were not about virtuosity, and so it was first look was strange. I didn't really understood. It was more once I started doing them that my mind started opening to a whole different aspect of dance and art, and
Yeah. The art of it.
exactly.
The art of
Yeah.
it. So then you joined in 2009, you were 18 when you joined Stuttgart.
Stuttgart, yes.
And you really became a celebrated dancer there as you moved through the ranks. And then you went on to Dutch National.
Yes.
And then you went out on your own.
Yes.
And that the impulse for that was to have control over your schedule?
Yes, and I was had a big interest in to do all the classics. So that was at some point I really felt the need of having that experience, and the chances were coming, and I wanted to totally be free to really take these experiences in, and really having the decision in my hand to say, okay, where do I want my career to go to?
So during the pandemic, when you couldn't dance, you made a really interesting choice that turned out to be really educational,
Yes.
spiritual,
Yes.
all of that.
First was the shock, right, of, okay, wow, this is really happening. And at the time I was freelancing, and I realized I have two options. Or I keep training in my living room as long as we don't know, or I really take this time as an opportunity to really experience something that I don't have the time for and never did. And that's what I choose to do then, to travel to Portugal and do something completely different. And it was great. And it was the first time that I stopped for that long, since I was 10, 9. It was meeting people from different backgrounds, talking about different topics, seeing how different lives people have it. And that was great. For me, it was basically getting out of the bubble. I think all the experiences that we have in life in general, you're gonna bring with you on the stage.
Yeah, exactly. That's
So
what I
if you
think.
if you don't live fully, there'll be something missing in my eye.
In 2022, you finally come back to American Ballet Theatre, and you come as a guest. And what was that like to be a guest? How did they welcome you, and how did that feel?
It was, I was so surprised how welcoming the company were. And I didn't expect it to be that. It was really, it felt being at the right time, in the right place. And like we said before, it really felt all the experiences, all the guestings, all the companies that I've been, all the work that I did before, it was preparing to that moment.
Yeah, like everything was leading you to it.
Yeah, exactly. I felt in peace that I knew that I did every single thing that I could to be able to live that moment in the way they did. So it wasn't afraid, or it was a lot of opportunities were coming to do these great ballets in the company that I always dreamed about it. And to seeing how welcoming everybody was, it just felt very comforting to be there.
So when you were asked to be a principal and a member of the company,
There was
that was
no
a natural
question.
step. One of the roles you're most known for is Basilio in Don Q, and you'll be dancing the new version of Don Q, staged by Susan Jaffe. What is it, when you're looking at dancing Basilio, what do you have to tell yourself?
It was one of my dreams to be doing Basilio. I think a lot of the guys, it's a role that you really want to take on, that is very technical, demanding, and it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a ballet with a happy ending, and it's just a good mood, and and yes, it's one of that I did the most versions. It's a fun ballet where you can really play with the flirtatious with key 3. So it's fun for us and it's fun for the public, and you can definitely feel that from the public.
Oh yeah. While you're dancing
Yes.
it, you can feel that they're right there with you.
Yes.
Now when you dance it, you do some amazingly virtuosic things, and I wonder when I'm watching you, are you fearless when you dance?
We train so much for it that in the moment comes on the stage is really I like to prepare as much as I can until it comes to the show, that once you are in that moment, there's nothing else you can do. You already did that for all the preparation until then. So it's a more excitement to finally do it. Finally now it's time to just go out and enjoy. It's our language, so basically it's we talking the story through our bodies.
Now another role that you're very beautiful in is Siegfried in Swan Lake. And that's a very complex role, I think, just because he goes from being an innocent, he goes from love to lust to regret in the space of the 2.5 hours. Is that a hard role to prepare for?
Yes, and to really find, again, the meaning of it. And once you start doing over and over again, how to always keep it real and honest, that's, I think, what is the challenge.
To really be in the moment.
To really be in the moment and telling the story in the right way, with honesty and fresh every time. So that it's not like, oh, here we go again, but to really be living that experience over and over again.
As you know, for a dancer, technique always comes first, and it will go up and up and get better and better. And artistry kind of follows that. But there is a point in a career where the artistry and the technique are both at an exalted level. I would say that's where you are now at this stage in your career. And I'm wondering, because of that, what's the most rewarding thing about dancing?
That not only by the steps, but literally the simple gestures or the simple way of walking, thoughts, that you know that the story is being told, and that the public is with you in those tiny little moments. Obviously, it's great when you know that what you worked for in a variation, everything is there and then worked, and it's an amazing feeling. But I would say it's equal as amazing when just the little gesture and you know that it was like in the right tone of the music, the public got it,
that,
and it's so magical. Just those, or with your partner, that you hit a moment together and just a look, and it's like, you know, that was exactly on the time.
Well, this was lovely, Daniel.
Thank you.
Really, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.